Rick Warren says that being successful in fulfilling your life's purpose are not at all the same issue. He said you could reach all your personal goals, become a raving success by the world's standard, and still miss the purpose for which God created you. Or another way to say that is, and still miss the purpose that you set forth for yourself before you showed up in this body, in this world, in this experience. Still miss it. You can have all the success, all the money, all the toys, all the fame, all the titles, all of the things that you have, and still miss what it is that you've come here to do. I believe that the question today, which is the title of my lesson, is, what on earth am I here for? I think that's a good question for all of us to just hold in our consciousness as we move throughout our day. To get up in the morning and say, well, okay, what on earth am I here for? Or what on earth am I here for? Or what on earth am I here for anyway? You know, it's like how you're going to ask that question is how it's going to show up in your experience. So am I here for a degree? Am I here for money? Am I here for success? Am I here for fame? Am I here for fortune? What am I here for? I believe our outer goals, that all the things that we accomplish, all the degrees, all of the successes, all of the efforts and things that we do, the trainings, all that stuff is important. All that stuff is a part of our experience, and I believe that those things that we accomplish are not the reason that we're here. What they are is that they are there to help us fulfill the reason that we are here. Do you see the difference? We're not here to get a PhD. However, a PhD may help us do what it is that we are here to do. There's a real distinction there, and it's really important to kind of see that and to experience that. My oldest daughter, Bridget, she's 33, and she went to school at Washington State. She graduated about 10 years ago, and she got a degree in a liberal arts degree in women's studies. And she joked when she graduated that she was going to get a T-shirt that says, I have a liberal arts degree, would you like ketchup or mustard? Okay? I mean, she joked about that, but over the last few years, she sort of experienced that, she was having a challenge getting a job, so on and so forth. And finally, and I told her, I said, you're not going to figure out what you're going to do till you're 30 anyway. That's about how long it takes to, at least career-wise. And so she finally, at 30, she figured out what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a teacher. So she went back to school, and she just graduated last Sunday, which is where I was, from Lewis and Clark College in Portland, with a master's in teaching for elementary education. And that's what she decided to do. Now, when I talked with her last Sunday, after her graduation, I said, do you know that I am very proud of you that you received this degree, but this degree is not about you. This degree gives you the tools and the credentials and the things that you need, and to know that this degree is about all of the students that you're going to impact and touch for the rest of your life. That's what this is about. This is about all of those people in your life that you now have the skills to engage with in a way that can help them. But beyond that, you have an experience of life now that you can bring into that experience. That's what it's about. So what I'm celebrating with you today is not just the degree that you have, but also I'm celebrating all the people that are going to benefit from that. All the children that will benefit because you've chosen to do that. And that's kind of the process that we have to move ourselves into, I think, in order to see what it is that we are about. God made her to contribute to the betterment of mankind. She chose to get a degree in order that she could do what it is that's in her heart to do, to contribute to the betterment of mankind. Do you see how that works? And it doesn't matter whether it's teaching or whether it's putting widgets together. It doesn't matter, because in any skill or context or place, we can contribute to the betterment of humankind. If we're working in an assembly line, we still interact with people at some point in our experience. We're still making a difference in some way if we can see that, and if we show up. Can you imagine showing up for work in a job that has repetition to it, and thinking, I wonder how I can make a difference today. The mindset that you bring into that experience and how powerful that can be. I want to share with you a PowerPoint presentation. Actually, I want to thank Bob Hauser for sending it to me by email. You know which one I'm talking about. Huh? I'm sure you do. Well, you will. So, Bill, could you bring it up? And it's called Who I Am Makes a Difference. And it's a story, many of you have probably seen this story. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to read it because as we go through the slides, so some of you are kind of far away to see the story. But it's a very powerful story about showing up in a way that makes a difference in people's lives. A teacher in New York decided to honor each of her seniors in high school by telling them the difference each of them had made. She called each student to the front of the class, one at a time, and first she told each of them how they had made a difference to her and to the class. Then she presented each of them with a blue ribbon imprinted with gold letters, which read, "Who I am makes a difference." I love this t-shirt. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm so close it scares me. It's not moving. You want to move it for me, Bill? Okay. Oh, too far. Oh, thank you. Afterwards, the teacher decided to do a class project to see what kind of impact recognition would have on a community. You're going to have to... There. She gave each student 3 more blue ribbons and instructed them to go out and spread this acknowledgement ceremony. And then they were to follow up on the results and see who honored whom and report to the class in about a week. One of the boys in the class went to a junior executive in a nearby company and honored him for helping him with his career planning. And so he gave him a blue ribbon and put it on his shirt. Then he gave him 2 extra ribbons and said, "We're doing a class project on recognition, and we'd like for you to go out and find someone to honor and give them a blue ribbon." Later that day, the junior executive went in to see his boss, who had a reputation of being kind of a grouchy fellow. He told him that he deeply admired him for being a creative genius. The boss seemed very surprised, and the junior executive asked him if he'd accept the gift of the blue ribbon and give him permission to put it on him. His boss said, "Well, sure." And the junior executive took one of the blue ribbons and placed it right on his boss's jacket above his heart. And then he asked, offering him the last ribbon, "Would you take this extra ribbon and pass it on by honoring somebody else?" The teenager who gave me one of these is doing a school project, and we want to keep this ribbon ceremony going and see how it affects people. Well, that night, the boss came home and sat down with his 14-year-old son. He said, "The most incredible thing happened to me today. I was in my office and one of my employees came in and told me he admired me and gave me a blue ribbon for being a creative genius. Imagine, he thinks I am a creative genius.